Greetings, children. Glad to meet you in the new week of the new month with the new lesson Conventional Sources of Energy. This lesson is related to our previous lesson Minerals of India. Hope you got thorough knowledge of the previous lesson Minerals of India so that we can proceed with this new lesson. The lesson deals with the sources of energy, that is, the energy from which it is being generated. The lesson is conventional sources of energy. First, let us look on to the meaning of the word. Conventional, it means traditional. So, the energy which is being generated traditionally is said to be as conventional sources of energy. That's why it is said so. Those which have been in use since a long time, for several years, we have been adapting this method to generate energy and are still being used on a large scale. Though it is a traditional and a conventional method, we didn't still drop out that method. We are still using it in large scale. Those method of generating energy is said to be as conventional sources of energy. The source from where that energy is being generated is said to be as conventional sources. The examples of conventional sources of energy in India are coal, petroleum, natural gas, and hydel power, that is energy generated from the water. Let us discuss some characteristics of conventional sources of energy. How does it serve people? Why people adapt or take over this kind of energy generation? For certain reasons and for certain characteristics. Except the hydel energy, the energy generated from coal, petroleum, and natural gas, they are non-renewable. You already would have learnt in your lower class, non-renewable means the energy which cannot be generated easily or the source which cannot be produced easily. Usually they cause pollution, air pollution, land pollution. Due to the smoke and the ash, it is being emitted by combustion. And when compared to the renewable sources of energy like solar energy or maybe the wind energy, this kind of energy is little costlier in tapping means like generating energy, it is costlier, therefore it is easily exhaustible. These are the general characteristics of the conventional sources of energy. Now let us go in depth with each source of energy. Already we have dealt with these sources in our previous lessons as a mineral. So that is going to be repeated in this lesson. So let us have a quick recap of those minerals as the source of energy in this lesson. Hope you got it. We have already learned coal and petroleum in our previous lesson as a mineral in India. The same thing serves as a source of energy, that is conventional source of energy. So we can go little faster on the content as a recap. So we know that coal is a very important mineral. It is a combustible solid stratified rock of organic and mineral matter. We know that it is composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and small amount of phosphorus and sulfur. It occurs in sedimentary rock with carbonaceous shale, sandstone and even in the fine clay. We know that it was formed by the decomposition, that is decay of large plants and trees which is buried under the earth for about 300 years ago. We have already discussed about the Gondwana and the tertiary coalfield, that is based upon the age, that is 500 million years ago. It is called as Gondwana coalfield and tertiary coalfield is about the age of 50 million years. So sediments which is being compressed under the earth, they begin to get deposited over the pile of trees and plants. By the heat and pressure over it, these sediments undergo physical change and chemical change, leading to the formation of coal. The next is the categories of coal. So let us have a recap. The coal can be categorized into anthracite, bituminous, lignite, peat. Again, the key points of these coal mineral and their characteristics have been given in it. So anthracite, which is the highest and hardest quality, they do not emit so much of smoke. They have high calorific value. The bituminous, next highest and hardest to the anthracite. It slows, like it burns slowly without smoke, but not high calorific as that of anthracite. Lignite is popularly known as brown coal. It is a lower grade. It has only 40% of carbon. Peat, it is the first stage of formation of coal. It is inferior to other three varieties. So it is just a recap of the previous lesson, the minerals. Now, let us look on the each energy source advantage and their disadvantage as a source of energy. Again, this advantage is nothing but the uses of the coal being discussed. We know that coal is an important source of power in running machines, ship, train, dynamos, etc. Coal is also used in the manufacturing of iron and steel as a raw material for smelting of iron. So again, it is direct source of heat for domestic purpose, like burning of bricks, tiles, and in iron and brass factories. When coal is burnt in a closed chamber, we get some byproducts of like gases like ammonia, benzol as byproducts. The next, we need to discuss about disadvantages. Though we use coal as one of the important source of energy, it has its own disadvantages. So it is very essential to know advantages of each source of energy as well as disadvantages. The first disadvantages, in India, the highest quantity of coal is of bituminous, that is the second quality. So we have less of calorific value coal. Again, we don't have abundant resources of coal. It is scattered actually. It is very limited and it is very much scattered. So cost of production and transportation of coal is very high. The reason is it is not located closely to the industrial area. It is scattered and located only in the Chota Nagpur plateau. Hope you would have learnt with the centers of the coal field. Highly concentrated only in the Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha than in other parts of the country. So it takes a high cost of transportation and production to different area. Burning of coal results in large scale pollution. We know that while the coal is burnt, it gives out so much of smoke and ash and dust, which may even cause the lung disease or the asthma or the breathing problem. Apart from that, one more to be included is while mining the coal, it is highly prone to accidents too. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of coal in generating energy. The next one is the petroleum. Again, the same points are repeated as a recap for your previous lesson. We know that it is a liquid coal because the tiniest part of crude petroleum doesn't go waste and they never remain unused. Every part and every drop of the petroleum is of high use. Apart from that, we know that it is also found in the sedimentary rock like sandstone, shale, limestone, petrol, diesel, kerosene, tar, liquefied petroleum, that is LPG, lubricants, paraffin wax. These are some of the products while refining the petroleum we obtain. So the next is the advantage. Advantages of petroleum. We know that it has high density. 1 kg of oil can generate 10,000 kilocalories of energy. So, very little of petroleum gives high amount of energy. Petroleum is in liquid form, so it is easy to transport through pipes. also vehicles. So we need not depend highly upon the transport system. Now there are pipelines which transport petroleum from the mining centers to the refineries. Again, it is used as a fuel. It is one of the very high advantage for the transportation system. Apart from that, those byproducts is also highly useful. Petroleum, after refining, it is used for the production of many petrochemical products, that is synthetic rubber, synthetic fiber, and PVC pipes, gasoline, varnishes, lubricant oil, paraffin wax, those which I have studied in the uses. Those are all the advantages of the petroleum. They give so many byproducts. Apart from that, petroleum is also a source of power generation. The next one we have to discuss is disadvantages. So everything, when it has an advantage, it also has disadvantages. We'll discuss about the petroleum. As we know, petroleum is a non-renewable energy and it is exhaustible source. If we do not conserve, sooner we will run out of petroleum. That is what is said. Its availability is very limited, especially in India. Already India is depending upon other Middle East countries for its need. So due to its demand, it is also getting depleted by the high usage. We need to be conserved. And then extracting and burning of petroleum generates greenhouse gases, that is increase of carbon dioxide by the usage of vehicles. So they contribute pollution to the environment and increase global warming. Apart from that, due to its limited supply and high demand, the cost of petroleum is getting increased. Highly inflammable, accident prone, it can easily catch fire and cause accidents. Then, if it is spilled, hope you know about the pollution of water, oil spill. When oil tankers transport crude oil from other countries through the ship, when they get spilled, it causes hazardous to the marine life. And when it is burnt or when it catches fire, it causes high damage to the environment. That is what is discussed. Spilling of oil in water not only pollute the oceans but also lead to the death of number of marine animals. So therefore we have discussed what is petroleum, where it is found, and what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages. Again, you need to get thorough of the centers as well as the region where petroleum is found. So let us have a recap of our session today. We have discussed about the minerals. The lesson is about conventional sources of energy, that is generating energy in a long run. That is, for several years we have been using this method or the source for generating energy. Those are coal, petroleum, natural gas and hydel energy. But today we have dealt only with two sources of energy, coal and petroleum, which already we have discussed in detail in our previous lesson modules, minerals in India. So sources we have discussed, and about these two sources we have discussed each of its advantages and disadvantages. So let us continue our lesson in our next module. Children, next class we will have a class test for mark 20 in the lesson Minerals of India. Again, make thorough of the centers, regions, states of each minerals of the previous lesson. Thank you. See you tomorrow.